In this video, we're going to cover some spelling rules that are involved in making plural form of the word. Most of these are quite easy, so I'm going to run through them quickly. If you want to study the words, and you should, please pause the video and look over the words. Words ending in S, X, Z, SH, or CH, they form the plural by adding ES at the end. Words like kisses, misses, okay, we need ES and not just an S. Y preceded by a consonant form the plural by changing the Y to I and adding ES. Okay. Here we're talking about words like fly and flies. The Y is the ending, and right before that, that's the letter that's preceding the Y. If it is a consonant, we're going to change it to IES. But if we have words that are preceded by a vowel, like day and days, we're not going to add or change anything there. We're just going to add the S. Why is that? Well, as a general rule, you can think of this rule. We want two vowels before the S. Okay, so this is what I think of when I look at these words. If you are wondering whether you should change that Y or not, look at the number of vowels you have. Day has already two vowels there, A and Y. In this case, we would consider the Y as a vowel. So we don't need to add an extra vowel. 3 vowels together is very unusual for English words, so we wouldn't do that. Whereas when you had fly and flies, here you only had one vowel, the Y, before you add the S, and so we want to change that. And so that rule can be used to talk about words ending in Y and also words ending in O, such as hero and heroes. Hero ends with one vowel, and so we want to make that 2 vowels before that last S. Negro, negroes, potato, potatoes is following the same rule. But there are many exceptions to the generalization, which is always the case in English, that there's always exception in some way or another. Words like solo, solos, halo, halos, piano, pianos, this is a word we use very often, and we may get that wrong if we think there's always an ES at the end. And so you need to kind of memorize these words, exceptions. How about an O preceded by a vowel? Well, if it's preceded by a vowel, then it already has 2 vowels there, so we don't need to add an extra one, so we're going to just add an S to the word. 2 vowels is what we want. Words ending in F or FE generally change the form to VES, right? And we should be familiar with that. Oops, sorry about that. Thieves, calves, selves, wives, lives, and knives. I'm sure you are familiar with those. And of course, there are exceptions to the generalization, and that would be grief, griefs, turf, turfs, and so on. There are a lot more words like that, like chief and chiefs. You don't want to say chiefs. So there are exceptions. So whenever you're in doubt, consult a dictionary. 8 nouns form their plural by mutation. Not very important. These are words you know, like men, women, feet, and teeth, and so on. So no big deal here. 4 nouns form their plural by adding en or ne. Not so important, as long as I'm sure you know that children is the plural of the child. This one you would have to remember. That's not commonly used, but it could be tested sometimes. Ox is a male cow, and the plural form of the ox is oxen and not oxes. Words like kind and brethren are old words that are out of usage, so I doubt they'll ever be tested really. Compound nouns form their plural by adding s to the most important word. What does that mean, the important word? We're talking about words that are hyphenated. Mother-in-law, mothers-in-law. The mother is the important word, so we're going to we're going to pluralize the mother by adding the S. Courts martial, will of the wisps, and so on. Compounds written solidly regularly add the S to form the plural, and only an S. So if you have a word like pickpocket, that is a compound noun, and we're going to just add an S to the word. Spoonful, spoonfuls, and so on. Otherwise, when you have words like fireman, the plural of fireman is firemen, right? Not firemans. We are going to follow the same pluralizing rule that we had for that particular component of the compound word. The book we're using for these exercises is English Made Simple.